The Psychology of the American Negro. Examining the social aspects of psychology has shown to be equally important to the biomedical and psychological aspects in determining methodology, treatments, and etiology of behavior. Although the entities of race and ethnicity can sometimes be ambiguous, they are inherent elements of our society. Race and ethnicity are key factors in determining social patterns and universalities among common people. It is therefore pertinent to our studies in the field of psychology to be concerned with these two areas, as they pertain to the development of the human mind. What is race? What is ethnicity? And how do these terms differ? According to dictionary.com, the word race can be used to categorize a group of persons related by common descent or heredity. The word is largely a construct of the society in which it is used. It can be applied to specify between types of animals or separate groups of humans. Ethnicity, on the other hand, is a collection of shared traits, background, allegiance, or associations. While the two terms are often used interchangeably, they are not the same. What does race and ethnicity have to do with processes of the human mind and behavior? Everything. From the way we talk to the way we respond to certain situations, everything we do as individuals is dictated by the compilation of our lives, which is largely dictated by race, ethnicity, and our socio-economic status. For the American Negro, the African American, the Black American, this is a subject of increasing interest. In order to understand and cope with some of the critical issues within the Black community, we must undertake a brief examination of the history of the Negro in America since their arrival some centuries ago. From the arrival of the first slave ships to the New World, the identities of blacks were removed.
Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Pastoral scene of the gallant South, the bulging eyes and the twisted mouth.
We shall overcome. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome. Though I join hands so often with students and others behind jail bars singing it, we shall overcome.
By the 1950s, Negro culture in America began to flourish. New ideas were blossoming on both sides of the Mason-Dixie line. In the North, liberalism had taken the African American to a new height of enlightenment, while Southern Negroes, for the large part, began the fight against inequality on the forefront of Jim Crow's bloody fist. For the first time in nearly 2 centuries, black skin had become an apparatus of dignity and even an object of adoration. Many American Negroes were black, and they were proud. A rebuilding of the ethnic identity of black Americans was underway and long overdue. Demanding equal treatment, education, and privilege in America had become the signature essence of the mid-1900s. Nevertheless, the reparations of slavery continued to go unpaid, leaving its treachery as an embossed stain on the psyche of the American Negro for years to come.
Beat him, kicked him, and clubbed him, unaware that an amateur photographer was recording the incident on videotape. Los Angeles Police Chief Daryl Gates looked at the tape and said he thinks assault with a deadly weapon will be one of the...
For the next 50 years, there were mixed mentalities present in the black community. Some used the struggles of the civil rights era to fuel themselves to soaring new heights. Still others became systematically desolate, and continue to exhibit the attitudes, values, and complacency found among the antebellum Negro. Social inequalities continue to exist between the majority population and the minority populations that re-emphasize the Negro's place in American society. With liquor stores, drugs, gambling, and other vices more readily available than books in most black neighborhoods, it is no wonder that the American Negro is faced with a multitudinous amount of social and psychological problems that have once again robbed the race of its fortuitous culture. The correlating issues presented by the continuing inequalities in education, services, and opportunity have repositioned the American Negro back in exiguous confinement, analogous to the shackles of slavery. The once predetermined fate of the American Negro has now become a matter of preordained concepts, largely originating in the mind of the Negro himself. In the past 2 decades there has been an increasing number of documented cases of mental illnesses among African Americans. In African American communities, mental illnesses are often stigmatized. Those who seek out help are often ostracized and looked upon with reproach. Increasing socioeconomic disadvantages have placed many Afro-Americans in situations where many seeking help for mental illness cannot seek it even if they wanted to. In 2006 alone, 1/3 of African Americans in the workforce were uninsured. Similar values
Just 18
present
months ago,
themselves in
Michael Vick
subsequent
was in
years.
prison.
Furthermore, cultural awareness and competency regarding mental health issues is almost non-existent. This forces those who might benefit the most from psychological care the farthest away from it. This leaves the fate of the American Negro to peculiar sorts. With little recognition of the pain still present in the soul of the American Negro, no solution can be posed to rectify the somewhat tumultuous and iniquitous lives they sometimes live, or the social and psychological problems they now face. The complex identities of the American Negro is forever juxtaposed between his counterparts. Although some American Negroes choose to adopt the customs and identities of their cultural cohorts, few attempt to reconnect with ancestral roots. The average American Negro, however, remains somewhere in between these two poles, accepting of where they come from and looking with hope towards their destinations. But always and forever, searching for their true identities and the essence of what makes them who they are. An American Negro.
My baby don't stand no cheating, my baby.